Hi YouTube, Dude's Guru here. Random spur of the moment video. I just saw the news that 57 police officers of, I think, Buffalo resigned. And it seems that they've resigned, the entire emergency response team. From what I did read, apparently it's the whole team. They all resigned in solidarity for the two officers who were suspended for pushing over a 75-year-old man. I have not seen this video. My friend commented on it yesterday to me, and he said that this man was left bleeding from his ear and that the officers in question were told by onlookers who were taking the video, this man needs EMS. And they basically just brushed it off and kept walking. No. First. Secondly, what the police should be doing, what you guys should be doing, is having solidarity for us. Because you're basically acting like you're the military, and you're not. You are here to protect and serve civilians. You are here to serve civilians. That's what it's about. So, this conversation I had with my friend last night escalated for a while, and it's because there's so many touchy subjects that need to be explained and understood to actually get what's going on regarding the protests and the whole racial aspect of it. But I had another conversation with a new friend named Carl from a place I was at earlier today. And Carl walked past me while I was sitting down at a table. He had just finished having a conversation with one of his coworkers about what was going on, about the injustice. I guess not really important to mention, but this was Carl, an African-American man, having a conversation with a fellow white worker about this. It was so peaceful, so amicable, and Carl walked away saying, "I wish there was an option C." To which I basically just butted into the conversation, sitting there, as soon as he was walking past me, and I said, "There is an option C." And Carl sits down and he's like, tell me please, what is option C? So here's option C. Three things. The first thing basically makes the other two things more or less mandatory. First, if a police officer is going to be on the job and they don't have the mindset of protect and serve the way a firefighter does, where a firefighter would rather die in a fire than somebody's child, then their heart's not in the right place to be a police officer. And if you can't answer that question with, as a police officer, anybody watching this, if you're a police officer, and you can't answer that question with, of course, I would put myself in front of a bullet for somebody's child, then get out of the job. We don't deserve you. We deserve better. So, first of all, police officers are the first line of defense and the last line of defense for society. In my personal opinion, it should be mandated that a police officer is not allowed to fire their weapon unless fired upon first. Period. Doesn't matter if you saw a gun. It doesn't matter if they're pointing a gun at you. Right? If they shoot, go ahead and shoot. But if you're chasing a man down the street and you see up his shirt that he's got a gun, and you're just scared that at any moment he could just pull that gun out, turn around, and start shooting you, well, you don't even know what the hell's going on. That guy might actually have a concealed carry permit. And if he hasn't pulled the gun on you, well, he's not actively trying to kill you. Therefore, you have no right to shoot him. So 1, police officers must not be allowed to fire their weapons unless fired upon first. Even in confirmation that there is a gun pointed at them, they should not be allowed to fire first. It's in my opinion, it is a police officer's duty based on the job description to take a bullet instead of shooting somebody who could potentially be innocent. Presumed innocent until proven guilty applies everywhere when you are protecting and serving the public. Now, number 2, body cams. They should be on at all times on every single officer in the United States. The moment that body cam has a malfunction or goes offline or just stops filming, maybe it's memory filled up, whatever, that police officer must go back to the precinct immediately, tracked by GPS, to have that problem sorted out. Not a single cop on duty should ever be allowed to be out there without a body camera. Why? Because that protects us. It protects us, and it protects you. So as long as we can make sure that none of these shady things of like, oh, the body cam wasn't working, or it started working halfway through the altercation and you can only see the guy in the chokehold at this point. No, that's shady. That's shady, and I don't care what explanation could possibly be made for that. It's shady. Keep the body cams on. Every single police officer, doesn't matter how much it costs, taxpayers will happily pay that. Happily. Keep the body cams on at all times, and if they turn off, you have to go back to the precinct, or you can't do the rest of your work today. If you don't have another body cam to put on, go home. Go home. Now, number 3, and this kind of just should roll right off the situation with steps 1 and 2. Protecting and serving means you're putting your life after all the civilians around you. You took that job. That's the job you took. If you don't believe that, you actually don't understand what you're supposed to be doing out there, right? 2, the body cam's on at all times. Now that would probably fix number 3. Any sort of police brutality, the moment that you realize that you're working in a culture, maybe in a precinct, where any sort of lip from somebody in handcuffs gets them hit, report that. Because that needs to end. And you know what? It will end. The moment y'all are all wearing freaking body cameras and we can see you hitting that guy, you won't hit him. You won't have the balls. You won't have the balls. So cops, look. If you think that you're doing your own protest by walking out of the job in solidarity for 2 men who pushed down a 75-year-old man and cracked his head open on the street, stay away. Stay away. Don't come back to the job. Because America deserves better. They do.